Shelabobby Handmade. My name is Caitlin, known just about everywhere on the internet as Shelabobby, and this is my podcast where we talk about knitting, crochet, yarn, all that fun stuff. First, today I would like to apologize if my hair looks wet or fuzzy or both. We have had quite a bit of rain this morning, and I was bringing in groceries, and so I am still a little bit waterlogged from that. So my apologies, but that is life. We have 2 finished objects and 3 works in progress. So today is going to be maybe a quicker episode because I'm going to run through them, and then we have a couple of acquisitions as well, and then a little bit of lifey stuff, so maybe it'll be a normal podcast. You'll be able to tell because you can see the time of the podcast, and I'm just getting started. Okay, so to get started, we are going to talk about finished objects, and my first finished object is my watermelon socks for my nephew Levi. So here's the first one. I can't remember which one I got done first. I think the green one was done first. So this is the first one, and then the second one. So we have matching socks, but also different. So those are done. I'm just going to hold up the pink one because the green tends to blow out. I need to remember to hold it on this side. So while I'm holding this up, I will tell you some details. So this is biscuit yarn. So the main color is biscuit yarn in the Bissock colorway. And it automatically stripes this pattern. I'm using 64 stitches. Nope. 68 stitches for this particular sock. And let's see. Oh, the contrast colors, you're going to see those in a work in progress as well. So I'll show you the tags then. But this is Jen Lux yarn, Lux sock in ruby red. And then the green one is called serpentine or serpentine. So I got those specifically to go with this to make him some socks, and I have added the remainder of the main color into my crochet granny stripe blanket that I'm using for scraps. So those are the yarn details. Let's see. Dates, I started this on April 7th and finished them April 19th. And yeah, 20 rounds for the cuff and 25 for the leg, and these are for my nephew, who is currently inside waiting very patiently to get these. He's been waiting all weekend. I finished them on Friday. Yeah, that would be Friday. I finished them on Friday, and he was very excited about them and wanted to wear them, but I told him he needed to wait at least until I finished my podcast. So those are the first finished object that I have, and the second one is also socks. So I'm going to take these off the blockers and put these on. So these are also socks that you have seen. These are what I'm calling my Ray socks, which is Raisin Farah Beach, I believe is the pronunciation of that. I'll show you the tag when I get these all settled. Do I need to put both of them on a blocker? Probably not, but here we go. We're doing it anyway. So here is that sock, and I believe last podcast you saw the finished sock, one of these, and so now there are 2. So this yarn is Explore Knits and Fibers in the Denali sock Raisin Farah Beach. Again, I'll show you the label in a moment. I did 20 rounds for the cuff, 15 for the leg, normal heel flap, slip stitch, heel flap, and guts. I can say those things. 68 stitches. This pair is for myself. I started these March 12th and finished them April 20th. The tag, I just had it. I threw it. Here's the tag for it. Explore Knits and Fibers. This was part of the, wrong way. This is part of the winter solstice box that I got last December. So that is that Raisin Farah Beach. I believe I am saying that correctly from what I have looked up on the internet previously. So that is the second and final object. I didn't have too much today, and we will talk about that when we get to my works in progress as to why, because that is a funny story. But that is the finished objects that I have for you today. So let's jump right on into works in progress. All right, so my first work in progress is the Ocean Waves blanket by Lauren Brown. This is a free pattern, and I am making this as a commission from my friend. And this is the one that has a funny story, and the reason why I don't have too much progress during the past 2 weeks. There's progress. It's just mostly in this blanket. So I'm going to hold it up the best I can for you to see the full height of it. I'm currently 30 rounds. I've been talking about socks today. 30 rows in, and it actually goes this way because I am on this green stripe right here. But this is a queen size blanket, so it is quite long and lovely. So I'm making this for my friend. I'm not sure if he is keeping it for himself for Christmas or if he's giving it away for Christmas, but either way, it is for Christmas. And so that was the goal. And the funny story about this is I plan to even it out throughout, starting 2 weeks ago. Starting then, and I can't remember if I talked about it in the last podcast or if it was the week after the podcast, but anyway, my plan was to even out the stripes so that I would have kind of an even workload all the way through Thanksgiving and not have like a bulk of it and then, put it aside for a little bit and then have another bulk trying to rush it. We don't want any of that. So I was going to plan out how many stripes I needed, where those stripes needed to go, how many I needed to do a day. Long story short, I did some math and I did that math really, really, really wrong. So I was at my local yarn shop and I did the math, and the way that I did it, still don't understand exactly what I had done wrong. I measured what I had, how many rows, multiplied that by, or divided it by the amount of length, and then divided that by how many rows. Anyway, I had done it wrong. I thought I needed to do 800 rows for this blanket, which would mean I would have to do 4 actual rows of a queen size crochet blanket every day until Thanksgiving. And I did it for about 4 days, and then my hands started cramping, and I was gonna have to tell my friend, like, I'm sorry, I'll do my best, but I can't kill my hands to try and get this done. And right before I messaged him, I was like, let me recalculate and figure out, because something isn't quite right. I have 5 colors and I have 5 skeins of each color. So I'm almost done with 1 skein of the colors, and if I need to do 4 rows every day, that's 2 color stripes, because I'm doing 2 stripes per color, or 2 rows per color stripe. And so I was like, I either really miscalculated how much I need to do, or I really miscalculated my yarn, which means it's going to be a lot more than I quoted. So in general, I needed to recalculate. It turns out I only need about 170 rows to finish the blanket. And so I'm currently at 30. And I did that in about 4.5 days. So long story shortish, I do not need to do 4 rows a day. I only needed to do about 1 every 3 days. And so I'm very much ahead, and we'll continue working on this just at a slower pace to where my hands do not hurt. But that is the reason why most of my progress for this week went into this blanket. It takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to do 1 row. So that's where we are at. The colors in this, I have them laid out here so that I can reference them. So the 5 colors that I have, this dark green is dark olive. This light color is sea blue. The gray is light gray. The light green is mid green. And then the dark color is dark denim. And all of these yarns are Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn. So the 100% acrylic, and that is what I'm using for the entire blanket, is just striping those one after another. So that is the story of the blanket and where I have put most of my work in. So I'm going to move this up now while I'm thinking about it. This is the wrong direction. This end is what I need. Sorry about that. So you're going to see a lot of ends because I have yet to weave in my ends. I need to hold it on this side. There we go. I've yet to weave in most of my ends for this blanket, but the last time that I showed this to you was 2 weeks ago, and this is where I was on the third color stripe, and since then I have added quite a bit. So there's the marker, and I have added all of that. So I'm going to move that marker right now while I am thinking about it. Crochet loop that I am on. Because my hook fell out, I'm using a J 6mm clover hook, just a simple clover hook to work on that. So this is actually the basket that it is living in. Usually this is my transport basket for my podcast so that when I need to move things back and forth, but this is where my working yarn, the next skein of yarn, and the blanket is currently living is in it does not have a project bag, it is living in my basket. So I'm going to put all of the tags and everything back in there, and I will replace the yarn when I get inside. Okay, that was a lot. So yes, everything is good with that blanket. All is well. Thought I was going to have to take a lot longer or something was terribly wrong, but all is well with it, and we will continue working on it stripe at a time. I think my hands have recovered enough, so I'll probably start working on it either tonight or tomorrow, because I also, sidebar, I also have a new project that I want to cast on. My niece went to a Renaissance fair, and she saw this really cute mushroom crocheted hat, and very much worth it. The hat was $100, but it was out of her budget for that day. So she came home and said, I really want to have this hat. Is it something that you can make? We looked on Ravelry. She found the exact same hat. I got some yarn. So it is on my bed, ready to cast on. I was going to do it last night, but me and her, they slept over last night. So me and her had knitting time, which I worked on a sock. So let's talk about the sock. Alright, so I have two more works in progress for you. Both of them are socks. The first one that I have is in this bag, which I can never remember the name, Twist Fiber Studio. I don't think that they are in business any longer. My mom got this for me at SAF in October last year, and their booth was like 30 or 40% off because they were going out of business. So I don't think that they make bags anymore, but this is a great bag. Of course, it has bunnies on it, and the bunnies have eyelashes. It is fabulous. In here, this is the yarn that I was going to tell you about. That's from Vi Socks. So I only have a start on this sock, just a couple rounds on the cuff. This is 64 stitches as well, and it's for my sister, I believe. I think that's who's slotted to make it, and I'm going to be making them out of these two yarns, which I will show you the teeny tiny little tags if I can find them. Inside of the other one, there we go. So the pinkish red color is Ruby Red. See if I can get it to focus on it. There we go. Ruby Red from Jim Lux Fibers. I got this from the Carolina Fiber Festival back in March, last month. But anyway, it is a 75-25 base, and this is the Ruby Red. It was a 50-gram skein. I used it for heels, cuffs, and toes of one of the socks for Levi. And then the other color is Serpentine or Serpentine. I'll hold you the tag up for that as well, if it'll focus on it. There we go. Also a 50-gram skein. And so obviously I didn't need, I couldn't find a 20-gram. There was not a lot of mini skeins, like separated mini skeins at the Fiber Festival, and these colors were perfect. So my plan is to do some type of stripy sock, maybe some slip stitch pattern, nothing fancy, but do some stripes. Not sure if they'll be mini stripes, like micro striping, or if it'll be a chunkier stripe. But either way, I had just gotten it started, so no major plans there. So that is my first work in progress. No, my blanket was my first work in progress. That's my second work in progress, my first sock. And then the sock that I was working on last night with my niece is this one. And I will give you some details about it, but I want to show it first and see how it shows up on camera. I'm going to flip it to the back. That doesn't look too bad. You can't see the pattern too well. I don't know why I keep doing this. I think of a pattern that I have or have purchased, and I see a yarn, I'm like, that is perfect for that pattern, and get it, and you can't see the pattern with the yarn, whether it be because it's too variegated, or in this case I think it is a too textured yarn, so you can't see the texture of the pattern very well. But either way, this yarn is, let me get my tag, a Long Dog Yarn of Enchantment. This is the February colorway, and I meant to look this up if it's Pinion or Pine, but either way, this is on tweed sock, and this is the inspiration photo for the yarn. So that is the tag. Here's the main color. So you can see it's a very textured, I think it's 2 or 3 ply. But anyway, it's a very textured yarn anyway, and then has a slight variegation. And then the mini that comes with the set was this nutmeggy brown color. So before I go into the pattern and what the pattern is, it is living in my Fat Squirrel Fibers little purple ghosty bag. That is my go-to sock bag right now. So that is where it is living. The pattern, and I need to change my page, but I have all of my acquisitions on it. The pattern is the Arrowroot Socks by Kelly Menzies. I just recently went through all of her sock patterns and purchased a whole bunch of them, so it was kind of like, which one of these do I think would look well with these socks? And in person, they look great, and I think maybe when the sock continues to grow, it'll show a little bit more. Sorry, I hit the mic with the cord. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. So it has this like regular garter panel that goes down, but in between, let's see if I can get my fingers right, in between the garter panel, there is this detail pattern that almost looks like a tree. It's going to be an upside down tree because I'm doing it cuffed down, but it kind of looks like a tree, the way that a tree would branch out. And I don't know, it looks really cool in person, but like I said, on camera, I don't think that the pattern sticks out enough, but I'm going to continue with it, and hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit more of that texture as it comes through. I currently have 16 rounds of 1x1, which the pattern calls for 14, I think, and I did a little extra because I was talking to my niece. And then I think it calls for 9 pattern repeats, and I am on the 4th, maybe? Yeah, 4th pattern repeat. So about halfway through the leg. I'm making these for my sister. These are 64 stitches. Unless they fit me and I don't like them, then I'll probably, or I'm going to love them. They're socks. I mean, if they look weird because the texture doesn't show very well. But either way, they will be mine or my sister's. And so that is my second work in progress sock. Not my second work in progress, my third work in progress. So that is all of the projects that I have to show you. Like I said, I have that hat, which I'm going to post a picture of here so you can see what I'm talking about. I have the white, the red, and the cream to make this pattern, and I'll put the name of the, because I didn't write it down, but it was a pattern, and she was just opening her Etsy shop when we looked at the pattern, and so it was only $2 pattern on her Etsy shop. So if it's still going, you should check out that sale if you are interested in that hat. But I'm going to be making that for my niece very, very soon. Let's see. Let's get into acquisitions. Okay, so I don't have too many acquisitions for you today, which is good because I need to slow down on my acquisitions. But my first 2 are from Mustache Yarns, and I can't remember who I was watching. like last week, I needed some retail therapy, and I bought a whole bunch of sock patterns. Like I said, I bought Kelly Menzies pattern. I bought a 3 by C pattern, the Serene sock that crazy sock lady was making, and one other sock pattern. I can't think of it right now, but I bought a whole bunch of sock patterns. I bought a new sock roller for summer sock camp since that's coming up, and so I could have a sock roller in all of my bags. And then I was watching another lady, and she was showing mustache yarns and was talking about this specific colorway. So I'll show you the label. There is, if it'll focus, let's do it, camera. You can do it. You can see my fuzzy hair, but there we go. Mustache yarns. And this is the Eras colorway. So she was talking about this, how it has all these stripes are eras of Taylor Swift. My sister is a Swiftie, so I wanted to purchase this. I've never bought from Mustache Yarns. I've always wanted to. I love their self-striping yarns. And so got this one for her. And it has the perfect match set. So there's two 50-gram skeins in here ready to go. This will be probably made during summer sock camp. So it is out and ready to be wound up. And then while I was there, I figured I could look for one for myself. So I got this one, which is Dark Side EVP. I cannot think of the band that this is like made to resemble. I can see the album cover because it's dark, and then there's like the white light that goes into a prism, and then the prism has the rainbow on it. Cannot think of that band or that. I think Dark Side is the album name. Anyway, it has a gray stripe, a black stripe, rainbow stripe, gray stripe, black stripe, gray stripe. Anyway, I got these to make myself some socks. So the last acquisition that I have is the Long Dog Yarn of Enchantment for, what is this month? April. So I just got this in the mail yesterday, so it is a great possibility that you have not gotten yours yet or that you have not opened it. So if you have Long Dog's monthly club for the Yarn of Enchantment and you do not want to be spoiled, please skip to this time that I'm going to put on the screen because I'm going to show it, I'm going to talk about it, and I don't want you to be spoiled because it is beautiful. So skip to this time. I'll try and do a chapter thing in there. I haven't tried that before, but I'll try and do chapters, and then maybe you can skip to like the lifey stuff after. But anyway, skip to this time because I'm about to show it. So this is the inspiration for this month, and it is a little bit blurry at the moment. There we go. It is a little bit crumpled. It got a little beat up in the mail this time around. And then I will hold this up and you can pause if you want to read about Shiprock. I do not know how to pronounce the Navajo name for it, but I will let you pause and read that if you would like. And then here is the yarn itself. Absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me a lot, actually accidentally brought it because it looked like the same yarn. This is last month's, I believe. Yeah, March. It reminds me a lot of this one, just darker. So I thought that was pretty cool. But this one is on the Yak sock base, which is my absolute favorite base from Long Dog Yarn. I'll show you the tag there. So if it'll focus. So that is the colorway for this month. I got momentarily distracted because they jumped up on the porch and I didn't know if his friend knew that I was doing his podcast or doing the podcast. So anyway, there they are. They're done. That was the acquisitions. That was all the works in progress. That was all the finished objects. So just going to talk a little bit of lifey stuff. I'm going to pull my notes because I'm going to have to reference them. So this past week has been pretty interesting and busy. Work has been busy. I do have a new book, which I will pop up here. I don't remember what it's called. It's like CEOs Do Only 3 Things. Just started it, so don't really have any major opinions of it yet. I think I've only walked with it twice. It has been getting warmer, so I haven't really been walking with socks either, because the first time I tried to do it, I was afraid I was going to felt it because I was quite warm. So that is the book. My dad also, he's a contractor for the military or the Navy, I think mostly here in the U.S. And so he is currently in Japan. So that has been fun. He has never been, as far as I know, out of the country other than when we visited Canada. So it is a long trip for him. Heard from him today and all is well. But yeah, so that's a big thing. He's going to be gone for a couple of weeks. So he'll be hanging out in Japan and having a great time. He has already found a place to get sausage and egg and pancakes, and I think he said he had a rice bowl. So he's going to be eating good. He'll be just fine. He doesn't like seafood, so that may be a problem because I know that that's a big thing over there, and he doesn't like tofu, soy meals. So might have troubles in that department, but he has found snacks, and he already sent Kit Kat pictures, so he's all good. This past yesterday, me and my niece decided to just hang out. Instead of going to our local yarn shop and knitting, we decided to hang out, have a pajama day, knit on my bed, and maybe organize my yarn, which she always asks me to do. So we went through all of the yarn that I own, organized it. We sorted out some of the yarn that I want to use for summer sock camp and pulled that out, redid my little baskets and corners and cubes and things like that I have set up. So all of that was reorganized. Had a great time there. Also cleaned up a little space in my room. So all well. All right. So I think that is just about it. Watching hasn't really changed. I'm still watching the One Piece. I think I'm on episode 90 now. So still watching that and enjoying watching that and talking about it with my nephews who enjoy watching it. Other than that, podcasts and all that fun stuff. Yeah. So I think that is it for today. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. I am almost to 200 subscribers, and so it will put a smile on my face if you are able to subscribe and support the channel in that way. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button, as that lets YouTube know that this video is good and should be shared with others. And if you would like, please comment. So many people commented on the last video, and it was so exciting. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.